Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications. And now, let's join ace broadcaster MAMODE AKUGHA as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, MAMODE AKUGHA. Delta State Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, has inaugurated an internally displaced persons management committee to oversee the rehabilitation and resettlement of displaced persons who fled from their community, Okwama, in Ughelli South local government area, to avoid being caught in the crossfire of reprisal attacks from the Nigerian army, whose men and officers were gruesomely murdered in their community following a dispute with a neighboring community, Okoloba, in Bomadi local government area of Delta State.
As much as we condemn his strong tenets, he dastardly acts took the lives of our gallant officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army. We will do everything we can to reduce to the barest minimum the attendant effects on the common man in the Okwama community. Innocent people have been displaced with their homes and property destroyed. This was, still is, unfortunate and most unexpected development.
Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, addressing the Internally Displaced Persons IDP Management Committee he just inaugurated to facilitate the safe return and reintegration of persons affected by military activities after the Okwama incident in Ughelli South local government area, where 17 soldiers were gruesomely murdered. The committee's mandate encompasses providing essential support, ensuring a smooth transition for displaced persons back to their normal lives, and addressing the socio-economic challenges they face. It will be recalled that the military, in its manhunt of the perpetrators of the heinous act, immediately took over Okwama, shutting it completely from the outside world. Even the state governor was denied access into the embattled community, raising serious backlash against the military in the media. Succumbing to public outcries over a month after the incident, Governor Oborewori was granted access into the community to see for himself the condition of things, which was rather baffling as the once bubbling fishing settlement along the Forcados River is now nothing more than a pile of rubble. Disheartened by what he saw, Governor Oborewori assured that his government will stop at nothing to ensure displaced persons are properly rehabilitated and do not suffer collateral damage any further. The chairman of the committee, a veteran journalist and former editor of the Guardian newspaper, Mr. Abraham Ogbodo, while recognizing the exigency of the assignment, promised to waste no time in discharging their responsibilities.
We have a humanitarian crisis in our hands. It is not time now to discuss the circumstances that created the crisis. What we are up to now is how do we contain and manage this crisis. And as you have noted, underscored in your own speech, we shall do everything possible to be transparent, to be thorough, to be selfless in doing this job.
In a related development, the House of Representatives Committee on Defense, which was on the state for an on-the-spot assessment of the Okwama incident, made a stop at the government house to inform the governor of the purpose of their visit.
We are here on an important national assignment as resolved by the House of Representatives.
The committee, however, maintained that the military must ensure that innocent citizens are not unduly victimized.
I want to all use this opportunity to appeal to the armed forces of Nigeria to commence the process of allowing innocent members of the affected communities to return to their homes and have access to their farms, as the farming season begins.
Responding, Governor Oborewori restated his administration's position on enhancing peace and security, which incidentally is one of the cardinal thrusts of his government, emphasizing the need for joint efforts towards the apprehension of the culprits while other citizens return to their normal lives. Still on the Okwama incident, the governor also last week received in audience the Ovie of Ewu Urobo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Clement Ogene Rukewe Ikolo, who was recently released by the military authority after about 3 weeks in detention.
To the divine and ordained governor of Delta State, His Excellency, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, I want to specially thank you for all you did for me and for the great people of the Urobo Kingdom and Deltans at large.
Upon receiving the monarch, the governor called on him and other traditional rulers in the state to continue to champion peace and unity in their respective kingdoms, while insisting that they should also liaise with the government and other authorities in fighting crimes and criminalities in the state.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has announced plans for a robust Niger Delta Summit scheduled for July this year. Conceived to bring together a wide range of stakeholders, including community leaders, youth groups, and women representatives, the summit will deliberate on strategies for driving rapid and inclusive growth across the Niger Delta region. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Dr. Samuel Ubuku, shared this update during the 6th meeting of the National Council on Niger Delta held last week in Asaba, the capital of Delta State. According to Dr. Ubuku, the summit is an affirmation of the NDDC's commitment to transparency and accountability in service across the region.
The gathering, which brought together representatives from the 9 states of the region, was organized by the Ministry of Niger Delta Development in partnership with the Delta State Government and the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), with the theme Stimulating Strategies for Economic Growth and Development in the Niger Delta region. Speaking at the event, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of Steel Development, Prince Shuaibu Abubakar Audu, said the meeting was timely as it aligns with his administration's commitment to the overall development of the Niger Delta region.
The Renewed Hope agenda encompasses much more than driving economic growth in Nigeria. It is about creating jobs, millions of jobs, improving education, healthcare, and reducing poverty, and building a more just and equitable society for all Nigerians.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ubuku, while highlighting the successes of the Commission, said the Commission will leverage its partnership initiative to deliver high-impact and transformative projects, as well as programs that will promote socio-economic gains across the region.
The funds available to the NDDC alone cannot really develop the Niger Delta, so we also need external funds too. Since we had the PPP summit, a lot of persons have actually tried to subscribe to see how we can partner together to do things together. We are reviewing most of those partnerships. Some of them are local partnerships, some of them are intergovernmental partnerships, and we are very, very open to state governments who are willing to partner with us to ensure that these projects serve the people of the Niger Delta.
Dr. Ubuku, who stated NDDC's renewed commitment to transparency and accountability, also disclosed that plans are underway for a robust discussion on the future of the region.
We are putting ourselves forward before our people for accountability. We just finished with the youth. The next set will be Niger Delta women, and after the Niger Delta women, we'll now talk about the leaders in the Niger Delta. All these we are doing as prelude to the proposed Niger Delta Summit, which we are planning, which is going to come up in July this year. So in that summit, the people of the Niger Delta will have an opportunity to also discuss the future of the Niger Delta and the future of the NDDC. We will all agree if the act we have today is serving us well or if it needs to be amended.
Earlier, Minister of Niger Delta Development, Engineer Abubakar Momo, noted that the council will work with other stakeholders to improve the living condition of the people of the region in line with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
To make sure that focus is on critical road projects, which I say, if you have opportunity to see what is in this year's budget, and once it is approved, you will go and sleep. You know that NDDC has arrived.
For his part, the governor of Delta State and the host of the two-day event, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, emphasized the critical role of NDDC in ensuring accelerated progress in the region.
Economic diversity is key to our growth aspirations. Hence, I welcome ideas on how we can reposition our agricultural sector as well as attract the needed investment to our critical social and economic infrastructure.
Governor Uzodinma of Imo State and representatives of other governors from the region were unanimous in their submission for a Niger Delta specific needs assessment and development blueprints, as well as a collective resolve that will provide succor to the people and ensure economic gains beyond just discussions, recommendations and communiques. Stakeholders at the event also called for concerted effort to tackle the debilitating security situation in the region through genuine and sustainable youth engagement initiatives.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State has called on the federal government and the National Assembly to consider further delineation of the state's 8 local government areas to promote equitable and effective governance structures at the grassroots level. Senator Diri made these remarks last week at an orientation program in Yenagoa for the newly elected council chairman and council members on governance roles and responsibilities.
After about a year of caretaker management committees running the affairs of local government councils in Bayelsa State, the Senator Doye Diri-led government conducted a local government election on the 6th of April this year, with the People's Democratic Party, PDP, winning all the seats in the state. Shortly after the inauguration of the new local government officials, the state leadership last week organized a comprehensive workshop to sensitize and prepare the 8 chairmen and 105 councillors, as well as other officials, on the critical task of governance in line with the policies and programs of the current administration, which is poised to ensure shared prosperity for all Bayelsans. Resource persons at the event took turns to enlighten the new officials on their respective roles and responsibilities, as well as the relationships between the various arms of government.
So this is the duty of the councillors to supervise, or these are their oversight functions, to visit and size up whether or not the job is being properly done. It is much of cooperation, not of friction. If you want development, you will not go and begin to threaten your chairman with impeachment. So impeachment is not a major function of councillors.
While speaking at the workshop, the Bayelsa State Governor expressed dissatisfaction with the current local government arrangements in the country, with the state having just 8 local government areas.
Local governments should be created by the state governments according to their needs and their resources. A situation where local governments are created and are feeding fat from the resources of other states is totally unacceptable to me and unacceptable to our people. If you look at Bayelsa State alone, Yenagoa alone is due. Yenagoa Metropolis alone is due for 2 local government areas. Barai Ekwetiama is due for another local government area. Okodia Zarama Biseni is due for another local government area. So therefore, Yenagoa alone is due for 4 local government areas. And the same thing applies to virtually all the other local governments in Bayelsa State.
Senator Diri, who also outlined some new policies for local government councils in the state, including a ban on chairmen taking loans without approval, encouraged the elected officials to focus on improving the lot of the underserved masses.
That good governance is a collective effort that requires the participation of all stakeholders. Council chairmen and their deputies, do not see yourselves as emperors that have conquered the local government areas. You are there to work with stakeholders, the poor, the very poor, the rich, chiefs, youths, and women.
For their part, participants at the workshop, while commending the government for the initiative, promised to implement all the lessons from the workshop.
We do a needs assessment of what the people want. So we budget based on the needs assessment and then the execution of those projects when they are budgeted and following the proper financial regulations in how these monies will be managed for the good of the people.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Honorable Fred Agbedi, representing Sagbama Ikirimo Federal Constituency of Bayelsa State in the House of Representatives and chairman of the South-South Caucus in the House, was last week awarded the prestigious Independent Newspaper Legislator of the Year for 2024 in recognition of his exceptional dedication and commitment to legislative duties. The Managing Director and Editor-in-Chief of Independent Newspapers, Steve Omanufemi, presented the official notification letter to Honorable Fred Agbedi during a brief ceremony held in Abuja. Honorable Fred Agbedi was lauded for his steadfast advocacy on critical issues affecting the South-South zone, along with his effective execution of zonal intervention projects, earning him a place among the top legislators in the country. Honorable Fred Agbedi, known for his humility, accessibility and intellectual prowess, has consistently prioritized the welfare and development of his constituents. Honorable Fred Agbedi is an experienced and distinguished legislator with a political career that spans several decades, including serving in the 3rd Nigerian Republic Legislature in 1992. A former state chairman of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Bayelsa State, Honorable Agbedi's achievements stand as a testament to his track record of excellence in delivering tangible benefits to his constituency and contributing significantly to the advancement of the Niger Delta and the South-South region.
Inside the Niger Delta. Azikil Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Azikil Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
Over 3,000 persons in Imo State received medical attention for various ailments during the NDDC's free healthcare mission at the Oguta General Hospital in Oguta local government area. Our correspondent reports that the team, which performed over 300 surgeries, went to Imo State following a successful outreach in Akwa Ibom State after the recent reactivation of the region-wide medical program.
In remote communities of the oil-rich Niger Delta region, the Niger Delta Development Commission's signature free healthcare initiative has become a crucial lifeline to the poor and vulnerable populations, often representing the only medical services available to this population. A worthy example of this troubling condition in the region was at Oguta, Imo State, where Mrs. Kate Ewim's son urgently needed hernia surgery, but the family could not afford the procedure until the NDDC's free medical mission provided the vital care, alleviating her son's prolonged suffering.
If NDDC didn't do it for us, we don't know how we are going to do it. It's God that knows.
Another beneficiary, Mrs. Ogbonna Nneka, who endured jaw dislocation for months, now looks forward to regaining a normal facial structure and smile, all thanks to the NDDC's timely intervention.
For the past 4 months, I've been suffering. I've not been chewing. I hardly close my mouth, but during this treatment that I came on Tuesday, by the mercy of God, I was able to close my mouth. And the teeth that refused to join together was able to join together. If not for this opportunity, I wonder what would have been the case.
For his part, the paramount ruler of AKUGHA, His Royal Majesty Eze Nani Chinedu, while commending the NDDC for the initiative, said its impact in his domain was unprecedented.
In fact, it's so impactful that I'm not sure anybody will want to rival what they have done. Nobody will come near it. No matter how free it is, this one is something else.
NDDC Director of Health and Social Services, Dr. George Uzowane, while conveying the message of the Commission's Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, to the people of Imo State, noted that reactivating the free medical program after about 5 years of hibernation is in line with the current board and management's collective resolve to provide essential medical services to vulnerable Niger Deltans who lack the means to access such care.
Before we develop any place, we must be concerned about and committed to developing the people. To heal the people is to heal the land and make it whole.
The turnout for NDDC's free medical mission in Imo State actually underscores the pressing need for more healthcare interventions in rural and hard-to-reach areas of the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta.
A high court sitting in Isialangwa, Abia State, has set May 15, 2024 for hearing on the legal suit instituted by Prince Godwin Kanu-Ide challenging the coronation of His Royal Majesty Engineer Iberichukwu Kanu-Orji as Ezearo of Arochukwu Kingdom in Arochukwu local government area of Abia State. Prince Godwin Ide, who had earlier resorted to self-help by stage managing an illegal coronation of his own in collusion with some elements after failing the screening process that produced Iberichukwu Kanu-Orji as the next Ezearo, is seeking to nullify the coronation and presentation of staff of office to His Royal Majesty Engineer Iberichukwu Kanu-Orji by the Abia State government in January this year. The Okenachi royal family of Arochukwu in October last year, after a rigorous process, selected Prince Iberichukwu Kanu-Orji, as he then was, as the Ezearo designate, ahead of his cousin Prince Godwin Kanu-Ide, in line with the cultures and traditions of the kingdom. Dissatisfied with the outcome of the process, he willingly submitted to Godwin Ide colluded with some elements in the kingdom and stage managed a coronation of his own, where he was crowned in clear violation of the established traditional protocols in the kingdom, necessitating the swift intervention of the Abia State government, which formed a judicial panel of inquiry to immediately investigate the matter. While the investigation was going on, the government, through the Commissioner of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Uzo Nwachukwu, among other things, suspended all activities related to the Arochukwu kingship pending the results of the panel of inquiry. This led to the postponement of the official crowning of His Royal Majesty Iberichukwu Orji, earlier scheduled for December 26, 2023. For his part, Prince Godwin again went on to demonstrate his penchant for illegality with a public coronation on December 29, 2023, leading to his eventual arrest and prosecution by men of the Nigerian police for flagrant disregard for the instructions of the state government. On January 26, 2024, following the conclusion of the investigation and the release of a government white paper faulting the unsuccessful attempt of Godwin Ide and his cohorts to take the throne, His Royal Majesty Iberichukwu Orji was officially crowned and handed his staff of office by the Abia State government as Ezearo of the ancient Arochukwu Kingdom.
Ezearo the Ninth,
renowned the world over for its rich and unique culture dating back to the mid-16th century. This signaled a new dawn of hope and optimism in the kingdom and the era for social justice and equity. Unflinching in his resolve to take the throne, though in a civil manner this time, Prince Godwin Ide approached the High Court in Isialangwa to challenge the crowning and presentation of staff of office to His Royal Majesty Iberichukwu Orji and to prove that his earlier arrest was an infringement on his fundamental human rights. Hence, he should be compensated to the tune of 5 billion naira. During a recent court session on April 16th, his counsel attempted to withdraw the first and sixth respondent, Governor Alex Oti, in the respective suits. However, Counsel to the defendant objected to the application, arguing that the matters are joined at the moment, preventing the withdrawal of the respondent. Also, a notice of preliminary objection was raised, questioning the claimant's legal standing to prosecute the said respondent in the matter, who by virtue of his office as Executive Governor of Abia State is shielded from any form of prosecution. Meanwhile, the court adjourned and set May 15, 2024 for hearing in the suit, seeking to nullify the coronation of His Royal Majesty Ebere-Chukwu Kanu-Orji. Amidst these legal intricacies, His Royal Majesty Ebere-Chukwu Orji has voiced his commitment to unity and progress in the kingdom, dismissing the succession disputes as a common trend in monarchy.
I launched what we call a peace, reconciliation, and unity process. And that process is to enable us as a kingdom to reach out to everybody in the kingdom, those who may have been aggrieved, those who may feel a sense of loss or whatever during the process of resolving the Ezaro matter, so that we can bring ourselves together as one family.
As part of his ongoing engagement with critical stakeholders in the kingdom, His Royal Majesty was recently in the United States of America, where he interacted with Umuaro in Houston, Texas. No doubt, the crowning of His Royal Majesty Engineer Ebere-Chukwu Orji is indeed the making of a phenomenal leader eager to chart a new course in the kingdom, for which he has already demonstrated by the construction of roads and installation of solar-powered streetlights, as well as the provision of potable water in communities in the kingdom.
Inside the Niger Delta.
And just before we go, we bring you pictures from a fire incident at Eleme axis of the East-West Road in Port Harcourt, River State, where no fewer than 5 persons reportedly lost their lives, with properties worth millions of naira and several vehicles destroyed. The inferno, which occurred last Friday night, was said to have been triggered by a collision between a petrol-laden truck and a heavy-duty truck. May the souls of the departed rest in peace, as we call on drivers, especially with petroleum products, to be extremely careful on our roads to prevent a reoccurrence of the disaster. Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screens. And remember, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.